Yeah. Yeah.
Welcome to the podcast. Have a seat, lay your feet up and take a beat. Get get your attention cause I wanna catch them all. Digging what you got like I'm playing volleyball. Got me all excited that we're about to start. Get your questions out cause it's time to question mark. Welcome everybody to the Question Mark Podcast, where we have more questions than answers. And tonight I am your host. I'll put that up. Mark Lee. And today I have a special guest with me, and his name is Jake.
What up?
And as you can see, we actually don't have a moderator today, and I have it there as chair. We have chair as our moderator today. And the reason we don't have a moderator today is because we did an impromptu time change, right? So I know you have a concert tonight, and
Yes,
something happened, and I have to go to San Diego tomorrow at the time that we were supposed to do the podcast. So I was just like, hey, Jake, can you make it here today? Luckily, because I contacted you today. So luckily you're able to come down, before going to San Diego.
Yeah, I like to think I'm a little flexible.
That's cool. That's cool. And you said you have a concert, right?
Yeah, I'm going to a show tonight. I'm going to go see a couple, I guess you call them hardcore bands.
Oh, okay. Because you're very much into, is it death metal?
I love death metal, especially brutal death metal.
Mm-hmm.
I also like hardcore and other things like that. Just more extreme music, grindcore and stuff like that, yeah.
Okay. And is that what you're going to tonight?
Yeah, so it's more like on the hardcore side. I guess you could, if you're getting like theoretical, call it like metalcore, I guess, but it's not really metal. It's more like hardcore style metalcore, I guess you could say. So the bands are Kublai Khan and Knock Loose.
Oh, okay, cool.
Stuff, yeah.
So, and how long is the show?
I haven't checked the set times, but usually it'd be like 3-4 hours or something. Because there's multiple bands, and each band gets, depending on how do you say, like they get a couple. I'm like freaking out right now. They get a certain amount of time.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
So it's like 45 minutes each or whatever, and then they have to like actually set up between each set, I guess you could say.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So they don't bring they all bring their own instruments, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
As far as I know, they should.
Nobody shares.
No, it's not unheard of that bands like share equipment and stuff. But I
or
would
it's
think
like the people that put on they provide equipment. Have you ever heard of that? Do they ever do that?
Oh, like if the venue like actually gives them, I think everybody kind of has their own like
I see
stuff. I don't know. I haven't played a show before. So.
Oh, okay. I was just wondering. All right. Well, let's get into it, right? But before we get into it, since we don't have a moderator, I will go ahead and keep a lookout at the chat. So go ahead and leave your questions or comments on there, and just take part with us. If you guys have any questions for Jake or for me. And if you want to follow our socials, you could get mine on Instagram at GGMARCLEE, and that's GG Mark Lee. And if you want to follow Jake, it's at SPIDER.JAEK, and that's Spider.jaek. And yeah, so but if you guys have have Amazon Prime, you have a free Prime Twitch subscription if you didn't know, every month. So if you want to support the podcast with that free subscription, go ahead and please click the subscribe button at twitch.tv/ggmarklee. Just make sure you link your Amazon account with your Twitch account. So on that note, we'll go ahead and get into our icebreaker.
It gets me every time, man.
So today's icebreaker comes from one of my good friends, David Ta. And his Instagram is his business Instagram is at Shinderu, and that's SHINDEIRU. So that's at Shinderu. Check out their merch because it's really cool stuff if you're into anime. And are you into anime?
Oh yeah, dude, for sure. I'm a total weeb. What the heck?
Okay. I don't think we ever talked about that when we worked together. Spoilers, we worked together before.
Yeah.
So, have you ever watched Yu-Gi-Oh?
Yu-Gi-Oh?
Yes.
Oh, dude, I was like 7 when that like came on. Yeah, I vaguely remember. It wasn't like the biggest fan of it, but yeah.
Okay, how about have you ever watched Digimon?
Oh, of course.
Okay, so that a lot of it actually comes from our Fuck, Marry, Kill tonight.
Let's go.
Or today comes from those animes, and so the options are Dark Magician Girl.
Okay.
You know she.
Oh yeah, I know.
Okay. Andrew Woman from Digimon.
Okay.
And any of the Harpy ladies
Harpy lady.
The Harpy ladies from let's see, maybe I could pull it up real quick.
Yeah, you're gonna have to show me this one. It sounds familiar, but I don't think I actually know who they are. Is it from Yu-Gi-Oh?
Yeah, it's from Yu-Gi-Oh.
Okay.
So it's these chicks.
Okay.
Okay.
There's a lot of weird
interspecies
So it's
going on. Yeah, exactly. So it's like a bird woman. So
okay.
It'll be, the options are either Dark Magician Girl,
Okay.
Angel Woman, and then either of the Harpy Lady. Now you don't get all of them because that's cheating. I'd pick that one right away.
Man, I was about to say, in a perfect world, I'd be a polygamist, and then I'd smash them all, and then I'd kill them all, so I don't have to. You know what I'm saying? But if we're going by the rules of the game, I guess, Mark. So I think I'd probably kill the Harpy ladies or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know too much about them.
Mm-hmm.
And then, can I see Angel Woman again?
Oh, yeah.
It's like, again, these are like
Yeah.
very, like, I haven't seen these in a long time. It's not like the anime that I watch, I guess.
Exactly. Like
it's like kid stuff, bro. Like, it's time to grow up. Okay, I think I made my choice.
All right.
So yeah, I'd probably smash that one, and then I'd probably marry Dark Magician Girl.
Oh, okay.
You know, wait a minute, time out though. Like, Dark Magician Girl, she's like, is she like a woman?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I was like, no, if it's a girl, it's a.
That's the thing. They say girl, but like, well, you know, I always like to think because they sexualize these characters. They have to be 18 in my head.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, I don't know what the age of consent is.
Can I just kill them all then? I just rather kill them all, dude. Just to be safe.
Just to be safe. Because, like, you know, I don't know what the age of consent is in Japan. So, but I think I'd go with I'd actually fuck Dark Magician Girl, marry Angel Woman, and then kill the Harpy ladies or Harpy lady. So it's just the kind of turnaround. Just because I think Angel Woman was a very big part of growing up.
Oh, God.
Like, oh, man. But yeah, that was a pretty funny one. If you guys actually do want to participate in submitting a fuck, marry, kill or a question of the day, go ahead and go on my Instagram and click the link in the bio. It's a Survey Monkey that you guys could fill out. But let's go into knowing more about you. So let's start with how old are you and where were you born?
Dang. Okay. So I'm 28 years old and I was born in Palm Springs, California, but I've lived in La Quinta, California basically my whole life. I lived in Riverside for a little bit when I was going to school out there, but I basically grew up in La Quinta. Okay.
Well, going off that, where'd you go to school?
High school, I graduated from La Quinta High School. Sure enough.
What year?
2012.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I went to UC Riverside and I graduated in 2016 from there with a degree in entomology.
Okay. And did you actually dorm out there?
Yeah, I did actually. So my freshman year, I was on the dorms. The heck was the name of the dorm? Lothian. I want to say it was like Lothian. And then
is that named after somebody?
It's like Scottish or something. I don't know, man. I was a Highlander. I don't know. I got like school pride or anything. I was just going to school, you know. So I lived there, and then I lived in an apartment complex that was like right next to the school called Bannockburn, and it was like these like really like disgusting, like dusty, old. Like it's probably been there since like the 60s or 50s, just totally trashed. I don't know.
And so the first year when you dorm, you actually have a roommate, right?
Yeah, I got to room with one of my best friends actually from like elementary school. Mm-hmm. So we lived together for a little while.
And then when you moved out into apartments, did you room with people or is it just you?
Yeah, so we ended up living together in Bannockburn as well. I believe it was for like a year or two, and then we ended up going somewhere else, if I remember correctly. And then my cousin, my like one of my best friends too. He's my cousin. He's like my best friend too. He moved in with me as well.
Oh, okay.
So then, yeah, I was always with somebody I knew. It was never anybody like random.
So what kind of advice would you give to somebody living with a roommate they don't know at first?
I don't know, because I haven't done that.
Okay, so now what advice would you give overall then?
I think just be courteous, man. Like, you know, when you're friends with somebody, but then you start living with them, you learn different things about each other, and you just, I don't know, just be courteous to each other. I think there were some mistakes that I made that I could have been like, oh yeah, because we grew up in different households, so you have like different customs and you do different things. So it's like, oh, I didn't realize like this is how you did this, or you know, you didn't realize how I did this. So just like finding common ground and just like making agreements and just being, you know, a good roommate in general.
Yeah.
You know?
And they say that about living with a significant other as well, you know, because like you said, you guys were raised in different households.
Yeah.
But say you guys start living with each other, it's like you guys have different quirks that were taught to you by your parents, you know, that were instilled in you, and it might be differing, but you know, you just find that common ground, be courteous and whatnot. And speaking about significant others, are you dating at the moment?
No, not at the moment. I am single.
Okay. Yeah, you guys out there?
Yeah.
Single. 28 single.
Oh god. Yeah. No, I've had a couple of girlfriends, a couple long-term girlfriends, but you know, things happen. You move on. You know, it's all good.
So, what would you say about like what's the hardest thing? Well, okay, let's go with this. What was your longest relationship?
So I was with a girl for about 6.5 years.
Wow.
Yeah, that was like a high school sweetheart kind of thing, I guess. But that didn't end up working out. It's kind of funny because like when we went to college, I think that's when things got different, I would say.
I see.
And then we're not meant for each other. Yeah.
And you guys did it end amicably?
Yeah, I guess you could say that.
Okay. So do you guys still talk?
No, we do
No.
not.
Okay.
No. I mean, God bless her. I hope she's doing well, but we don't talk or anything. Yeah.
Nah, that's 6 years, man. So
Yeah.
what was the hardest part about that change up? Because you guys been together for so long that, you know, you kind of intertwine your lives with each other at that point. So what was the hardest thing about after that relationship?
I think her family, honestly, I feel like I loved her family more than her. And not to be like messed up. Well, like when we were first like together, like it was very like innocent, I guess you could say, because we were like 15.
In high school.
Yeah, we were like 15, 16 when we were together. But then like as time went on and we started growing up, we started liking different things and we just kind of grew apart, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, and I felt like she was trying to mold me into something that I wasn't at the time.
I
and
see.
I think I was just like, I don't really know if I like this. And then we kind of had different directions of like how we viewed a relationship. And I think too, like, I think she kind of wanted to start getting married. And I was like, I'm still too young for that, bro.
Yeah.
You know, like I was like, why don't we just like get everything kind of settled first before we get married? Like, let's finish school and all that. And I just felt kind of pressured the whole time. And eventually it was just like, nah, this has to end. I don't think we're meant for each other. So I ended up having to, you know, end it.
Yeah. Okay. And that was a long talk.
Honestly, I don't. I black out a lot of these memories. No, I think, man, I honestly don't remember how I did it. I think I just kind of told her the truth. I was like, look, like, I'm just not feeling this anymore. Like, I don't think we're meant to be. It wasn't easy. I think she wanted to still be together, but I was like, nah, this has to be done. And then we tried the whole, like, let's try being friends afterwards thing. Still wasn't a good idea. And then, like, later on, we tried doing it again. And it didn't really work out again. So then I was like, yeah, the nail
Strike
on the coffin.
three.
Yeah,
That's
it's
it.
like, nah, this is it. Like I said, you know, God bless her. I hope she's doing well wherever she is. But like, nah, we're done. We don't talk.
Okay, well, you know, that's good that you still you're still in the phase well, you wish her well.
Yeah.
But
always.
you know, it's like you guys are different people.
Oh yeah.
And I always say that, you know, I know we had a long podcast about it quite a bit ago, that even friends are kind of like that, where it's just like you guys go through similar things, but as you guys grow up, try and find yourself, you guys end up knowing, oh, you know what, we don't have too much in common. So you end up like, yeah, you were friends, but now you're like acquaintances. You know, it's kind of weird that happens, but it does happen because you grew up as a person.
I think for me, I can make a friend and they're basically like a lifetime friend, I guess. Like I can always pick up where I left off, but I definitely notice like I don't hang out with certain people as much anymore or whatever. Like they're doing their own thing. And I just feel like that's a part of life. Like people are going to come and go. So you just have to appreciate them while they're with you, I guess you could say.
I like that. Now, what do you do for a living?
So I'm actually a biologist at the local mosquito and vector control in the Coachella Valley.
Okay. And before getting into that, what was your journey going into that?
Oh,
like, what was your first job leading into, you know, where you are now?
I think it even goes even further back than that, to be completely honest. Like, so my whole thing, you know, as you can tell by my Instagram title, Spider.jaek, like, oh gosh. So when I was a little kid, about 3 years old, I was always like fascinated with spiders. Like that was my thing. Like I love spiders. Like I want to do stuff with them.
What fascinated you about them?
You know, it's people ask me that, and I think for me, I think it's just the biodiversity and the different types and just the venom and all the cool things that they do and how important they are to the ecosystem. Like I've just always been attracted to them, and they've always been kind of attracted to me. It's like wherever I go, I tend to find spiders, or they find me, or maybe it's just because like I like them so much, I can like pick them out.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? But yeah, so it started with spiders when I was a kid, and I would always tell myself I'm gonna be a spider scientist. I'm gonna be an arachnologist. I want to be an arachnologist, and so I would just like always read about spiders and watch documentaries and all kinds of stuff like that, and that led into like me owning tarantulas and things of that nature as well. But then as I got older and I applied to schools, I was trying to look for an arachnology major, and I just could not find anything like that. And I was like, okay, well, what can I do instead? And I saw entomology was something that could be pursued. So I was like, okay, I'm going to be an entomology major. It's not spiders, but it's close enough. It's insects. So I was like, I'm going to study insects. Maybe I can do some spider work on the side. So then I went to UCR, had some really awesome professors, and I did get to work with some spiders in a urban entomology lab. And that was really cool. I got to do some research on the invasive brown widow spider. Mm-hmm. So that was really neat. But eventually, after I got out of school and I graduated...
Sorry, I'm going to interject. The brown widow spider?
Brown widow, not brown recluse, brown widow, a relative of the black widow spider.
Oh, okay. So they don't have the venom like the brown recluse.
No, it's a different type of venom. So brown recluse is more of like, I guess you would say like a flesh destroying, what is it called? Cytotoxin, something like that. And then like a black widow has more of like a neurotoxin. So it's going to attack more like your nervous system and things like that.
Okay.
Yeah. But where was I? Oh, yeah. So then I graduated from UCR and I was taking a little break from school because I was burnt out. I was like, man, I want to go and get my master's or PhD, and I wanted to study like systematics and taxonomy, and I wanted to go name new spiders and stuff like that. That was kind of my thing. But then after I took a break from school, I was working at like a mall or something, just kind of, letting life pass me by, I guess you could say.
Where'd you work at the mall?
I worked at this little in what's it called? Tyler Mall, right? Tyler Mall in Riverside. Okay. Yeah, I worked at like that.
So while you were going to school?
It was after I was done with school. So I kind of like was taking.
Stayed in Riverside.
Yeah,
for a little bit.
Okay. I stayed for like, I don't know, a few months or something, because like I was there, and then I started dating this chick, and then I was kind of still trying to do a little bit of research at UCR, like post, UCR, whatever, and then but then my dad hits me up and he's like, hey, there's a job opening at this local vector control. You should probably apply to it. And I was like, whatever. So then I was like, well, at least it's bug related. I should try that.
Oh, wait. So wait, what were you doing? Or like what at Tyler Mall were you doing?
Oh, I was working at like this like hippy dippy store, that Earthbound.
Oh, yeah. That's where they sell like, what is it? Like chairs and stuff like that, right?
No, it's not chairs. It's like, dude, I don't even know. It's like literally a store for hippies. I don't know how else to
say. That's like home decor.
No. I know, homebound, right? It sounds like it's like no. It has like all that like crystals and I do stuff it's kind of funny because I don't
stuff from the earth.
Yeah, whatever, like all that like it was like a bohemian kind of thing. Like basically like. Think about people going to Coachella Fest and how they dress and like the things that they're into. That's what like Earthbound is. It's like a mecca for Coachella Fest people.
Okay.
Not really my thing, but I needed the money.
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
Whatever.
Exactly.
So, where was I? Oh yeah. So with the vector control thing, I ended up applying, and it turned out that like the person applying, or I guess my future boss, was somebody I knew from UCR. She was a PhD student, and she was a new vector ecologist, so we kind of had a connection. And she was also a TA from my medical and veterinary entomology class.
And what vector control agency was this?
So this was Coachella Valley Vector.
Oh, okay.
So I ended up getting hired as a seasonal, and I was like just setting up traps and stuff around the valley. And I was like, this is kind of neat. I kind of like this because I'm not just stuck inside all day in a lab. I get to be out and I get to trap mosquitoes, and the days go by fast. And I'm driving around. I get to see parts of the valley that I didn't even know existed. So it was pretty neat. And then after that, my season ran out. So I was a seasonal. That was the one thing I wasn't accounting for. I thought it was a permanent position. Yeah. And then when I got hired, they said, oh, yeah, by the way, this is a seasonal. You're only here for 6 months. I was like, what? I was like, dude, come on. Like, this is sick. Anyways, so after my season was over, my buddy Mike, who works, a shout out to Mike, he just encouraged me like, hey, just kind of lay low, maybe get like a part-time job or whatever. And then when season comes again, they might call you back or you should apply again. And so I did. Sure enough, after I forgot how long you have to wait between seasons. I think it's 6 months. I think you
Okay.
have to wait 6 months. So then in like February of the next year,
Mhm.
I ended up being a seasonal again, but I was like there for like a month because then I ended up going to Riverside County Vector Control.
Okay.
Yeah.
So okay, after your first season, and they're like, okay, well the season's done. You guys, did you do anything in between that and the next season?
You know what? I think if I remember correctly, that's when I worked at Tilly's for a little bit too.
Okay, I
Dude,
see that. I
I
can see that. Though.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Shout out to the old Tilly's crew. Dude, I've worked some weird jobs like on a real like, how do you say, like side story.
Yeah.
So I've worked in like a palm tree orchard before, and I've been a sign spinner. Like I worked at a couple labs at UCR. So I have all this like random experience.
Yeah.
It's so
But
weird.
it's like anything to make money.
Yeah, and I was just like, whatever. Like, I'm just a kid. You know, my thought was just like, this is a summer job. I'm going back to school or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's like I never took a lot of the work serious. Not I didn't take it seriously, but like I didn't think of it as like, oh, this, because I knew what I was gonna do. I knew I was gonna work with some kind of invertebrate or arthropod of some kind. So I was like, whatever. Like, I know what my future goal is. So this stuff isn't really gonna matter. I guess.
But in the sense, you're still also building your resume.
Oh yeah, dude. I've also done like canvassing. Like I worked at like, I don't know, dude. I've worked some weird jobs. I don't know. It's kind of funny. Like looking back, I didn't even like think about it. The sign spinning one was pretty awesome. I'm not gonna lie.
How long did you do that?
I was like, yeah, let's go. I did it for a summer. Like my Theo owned a like an auto repair shop kind of thing. And he's like, hey, you want a summer job for school? I was like, hell yeah. And he's like, I got a sign right here. And I was like, let's go. So I was right there in the corner. I was working the corner, like I did say. And yeah, it was pretty cool. I mean, it was like 110, 120 degrees. It was summertime.
Oh, this was in Coachella?
Yeah, it was in Coachella.
shoot.
So like it'd get pretty hot. So I just had my hat. I had some water, and I would, just spin the sign. I usually got a lot of honks, but
That's good.
I remember one time this this car busted at you, and then they lowered the window, and some like 12-year-old with a BB gun just shot at me. I was like, what the? I was like, oh, bro, no way. And
I was assigned to help you block it.
yeah, I was like, dude, what the hell? And then like I got pissed, but I was like, no, dude, if I try like retaliating, I'm gonna end up hitting another car or something. They're like, whatever. So I was like,
not only that, it looks bad on the business that you're doing it for.
Nah, it's about me, Mark. It's about me and my pride. No, but then after that, like literally like 10 seconds after that, like some motorcycle dude, like some big old tough dude, he just like drove by, kind of looked at me, flipped me off, and then when I was like, dude, what did I do? I was like, what did I do?
You fought back. That's what you did.
Yeah, I was like, I didn't even do anything, bro. I was like, I'm just spinning my sign, dancing to like, I don't even know what I was dancing to at the time. It's stupid music, I'm sure, but yeah, that was a trip. But yeah, going back to the main story.
Yeah. So you said then you ended up in Riverside County.
Yeah, so I ended up at Riverside County, and I became a technician. So I ended up going around to different areas and treating for mosquito larvae and things like that. We also did other things like what was it? Hantavirus surveillance during the winter, which was gross. Did not like that. And then also the plague surveillance up in the mountains, which I didn't like.
And that's where I met you.
Yeah, and that's how we met, actually.
Yeah,
I ended up kind of training you a little bit how to be a tech, because I knew you were interested at the time.
Yeah, so at the time, basically, when you got the job, 2 others also came in with you, because the positions were vacated. Like 3 of them were vacated. So I actually applied for those positions, but because the supervisor at the time, she gave me a heads up. Hey, I liked working with you before. I'd like to work with you again. You should apply for this because I know you do good work. But the only thing I didn't have was the experience. So then somebody vacated again, and then I tried to apply again. I still didn't have, even though I had some experience, it still wasn't enough. So after that, I tried twice. They're just like, hey, let's get you out in the field. I was like, finally. Thank you. I appreciate, you trying at least. So, that was cool, where I got to go with you guys like once a week, and you took me out. Some of the other guys took me out, but most of the time I was out with you. Yeah,
man, it was fun. I remember just taking you out and showing you how to dip for mosquito larvae and all that stuff. Like, that was pretty cool. I have a lot of fond memories from Riverside County because it was a smaller kind of district. I know it's not as uppity as some of these other places, like where I work now, where there's like whole fleets. I mean, it's literally just like 4 technicians, 5 technicians for like, I don't even know how many cities, how many square miles is that, man? It's like Temecula, Murrieta, Hemet.
It's crazy, what we deal, just because some of the other guys came from Northwest, so they have experience from sister districts that we didn't know of, you know? And so learning that knowledge where it's like, oh, you guys cover this and you have how many technicians? And then we have like 5 technicians and we cover what the heck? Like the same amount.
Yeah,
which
it's insane, crazy. Dude. Yeah, you guys are like overworked for sure. I remember that. Like, dude, how do we even cover all this stuff? There were times too where I was like, are we really making a difference? You know, I'm like, not to be like a Debbie Downer, but I was just like, dude, there's just so much. And then plus this area is just a mosquito haven, bro. It's like perfect for them. So it's like, it was just so difficult to keep things under control, you know? And for me, it always felt like it was a Band-Aid on like a cut off arm. Like you're not really going to do a lot, you know, with only 5 people, but we did what we could.
Exactly.
And I still love my old team. So
well, we always say, we do what we could with what we have.
Yeah.
You know, and that's kind of, I don't want to put it out there, but it's not my business to put out there. But yeah, it was fun, you know? And now that I'm in the job, you moved on to
my current position.
Your current position.
Yeah.
So how long did you do the technician position before you moved on?
So it's about like 2 years, I want to say, like 2.5 years.
And what was the major reason that you wanted to move over to the position you are in now?
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I know it's closer.
Yeah, definitely closer. I was commuting like an hour and some extra change every day. And then plus it was like 10-hour days that we were working at the county. So it was like really like 13-hour days for me in general. Like I didn't have time for anything during the week really.
Yeah.
It was just a lot. And I would get freaked out sometimes with the driving and stuff because people just drive like maniacs.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Definitely. I guess you could get into an accident anywhere, but like just on the freeway constantly and like, I don't know, the fog that would go on like Lambs Canyon, just stuff I wasn't really quite accustomed to in the valley where it's not as extreme. You know, it's just hot and rain every now and then. But,
so your drive was like about an hour and a half?
Yeah. Well, maybe like an hour and 10, hour 15, but like on the way home sometimes too, like you get traffic backup or whatever and it's just annoying.
That's crazy.
So that was one of it. And then just money, dude, you know, I'm not going to lie about that. I didn't get that petty, you know, you know, and I knew it was a good position. And I figured it would lead to bigger things than staying at the county because essentially in the county, the way it works, it's like you can't really move up. It's a weird setup, dude, because like as a technician, you can't really move up to a supervisor role the way that the county's set up. You have to be like a health inspector. So I was like, dude, if I want to be like a supervisor for this vector control, which I really did care for, like I really did love the program and I was considering it, at least being like the assistant supervisor, which is the 4.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm going to have to go be like a hazmat inspector or like a food inspector.
For a couple, until the position opens up and then, at that point, you're just like waiting.
Yeah. And I was just like, I was okay with it. I kind of was just like, all right, well, that's my fate. So be it kind of thing. Like, I don't know. Yeah, I was like, maybe being a hazmat inspector won't be so bad. Whatever. I mean, I got to do a couple of ride-alongs, you know, and it was cool. But again, it wasn't my true love.
Yeah,
you know
exactly. But I was saying, I was like, now you're into something you actually love to do.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Know, and what you went to school for.
Yeah, and that I feel incredibly blessed, man. Like it's honestly a blessing to be where I'm at. So like after I got the position, I ended up like being able to stay in the valley and I got to do more insect related things, I guess you could say, instead of having to like worry about, can I pass this REHS test or whatever? Can I do all this extra work and then invest money into all these different things that because it costs money to actually be an inspector. You have to pay like $200 for some test or whatever.
Every year, right?
Yeah.
Or to uphold your license, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know the whole process. I just know you got to spend like a couple $100 to get, to even apply for this crazy test that you study hours for. I was like, I'm not about that life. I was like, I just want to play with bugs, dude. You know what I'm saying? I just want to play with bugs. And so I ended up, again, because of a stroke of luck, I guess you could say, or just like connections. My old boss, which was my old TA, again, she was there and she was part of it. Like, we need a biologist. And I was like, well, I'm the guy you need, you know? Yeah. I can fill that role. And I think they wanted somebody younger just to be able to fill the role.
Oh, I see.
You know what I mean? Kind of mold me into like what they want.
Yeah.
A lot of their like biologists there are, I don't want to call them old, but they're veterans. They're veterans. You know, they've been there 15 plus years. So I was kind of like new blood. I don't know.
Yeah, that makes sense. Now speaking about bugs, or arachnids, you're quite a collector.
Yes, I am. So I love them.
So how many species do you own?
Oh God, I don't know. Something like 30.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Now 30 species, but how many in total?
So I only have like 2 that are siblings that are the same species. Everything else is completely different.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you have like 31 then?
Yeah, I guess, something like that somewhere. It's always changing because, some of them unfortunately die and then other times like I get new ones all the time. So I'm just like, I try to keep it reasonable because of my setup at home right now.
Yeah.
So it's like I don't have my own place yet. So I'm like, okay, well, I don't want to like overrun this place with all my bugs, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I got to keep it manageable. So I have, you know, decent size. Dude, if I could, I'd have like every single one, you know what I'm saying? It's like you in Pokemon, dude. I got to catch them all. I got to have them all. Yeah. It's pretty neat. I mostly have spiders. I have tarantulas. I have I have a huntsman spider. I have tarantulas. I have a funnel weaver of some kind of. What else do I have? Centipede, tailless whip scorpion or whip spider, whatever you want to call it, and then a whip scorpion or vinegaroon, as they call them too. So a bunch of different things.
So now with your setup, how do you store them away, or are they in a terrarium?
Yeah,
or?
so just depending like how cheap I want to be. So it's like honestly, they don't really need a lot. I have a lot of Tupperware that I just drilled holes in, you know, and give them a little water dish where I just spray the substrate in themselves. And then that's it. And then there's a couple. I have one, like, for example, my Burgundy Goliath bird eater. I have her in a big tank, and she's, you know, her name is Big Bertha, so she kind of needs a big, big space. I give her her own little world right there. But a lot of them, they have just like smaller enclosures. They don't need that much room per se. But
now they're not listening right now. So who's your favorite?
Oh, that's so easy. It's my my Brachypelma Amelia. Her name's Amelia, actually.
Oh, yeah. So, what is it?
So it's I'm so bad with common names. A lot of the times, I believe it's the Mexican painted leg, Mexican red leg. So basically,
what was the scientific name?
Brachypelma Amelia.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's basically a black and red spider, and it has like this triangle black mask over its carapace or the top of the head. Mm-hmm. So it looks really cool. I don't know. I just really enjoy the coloration.
Oh, okay. So you like the coloration more than, it's not like a favorite type of spider. It's just the coloration.
So my favorite spider we can't own, unfortunately. It's from Australia. It's the Sydney funnel web spider, Atrax robustus. So yeah, if I could ever see one of those in real life, like I've literally had dreams where I've woken up in tears of joy because I've seen it. Like, dude, just the other night I had a dream. I was in Australia seeing these dudes. I was like, let's go, you know?
Yeah.
But in general, my favorite tarantula, I guess you could say, is the Brachypelma Amelia. Yeah.
Okay. And some of your hobbies include skating and weightlifting.
Yeah.
So how long have you been skating?
Man, my skating history. So
sorry, for skateboarding.
Yeah, skateboarding. Yeah, dude. So it's kind of a weird story. Again, like I feel like my whole life is just these weird, like random events. So I started skating when I was probably like 13, 14.
Okay.
Early on, I could do like a couple tricks, maybe like ollie, kickflip, shove-its, whatever. And then I kind of took a break because I wanted to focus more on school because I was like, dude, I'm going to be a spider scientist. I got to actually do good and do extracurriculars or whatever. So I did track and all that, whatever. And then, so I took a long break from skateboarding. And then when I was working at Earthbound in Riverside, funny enough, I started dating this chick, and then like we kind of just started skating together. Okay. And I was like, I forgot how much fun skating was. So I could still like kickflip kind of and pop shove it. And so I progressively got better. But then we ended things, of course, you know.
Yeah.
And then, I just got like really into it for a while. Like for a minute, like that was like my real big thing. I wanted to land all these crazy tricks because I just like flipping the board, honestly, like just doing stupid, ignorant like lips. And so that was like my goal. I never really got into like transition skating like in the ramps or the bowls.
Oh, okay.
I never cared
so
for
you
that.
like flat?
Yeah, I'm a flat ground skater for sure. And I wouldn't even call myself a street skater because like I don't do anything crazy. I'm like the best stair, you know, the best thing I've ever jumped off was like a 4 stair. You know, so I met a lot of cool people. Shout out to young Kobe. I know he's listening. You know, and just doing that. And I just kind of just flip the board. Like I said, I like doing like kick flips, double kick flips, tray flips, all kinds of just dumb stuff. Like I said, I'm not like the best or anything. Like I'm not that good, but I can do some tricks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, when did you start weightlifting?
So that was like more recent. So basically my whole life I've been pretty skinny or like skinny fat or whatever. And I was like, you know what? Now that I have this like job, I feel like I can actually afford to go to like a decent gym.
Oh, okay.
And so I hit up my cousin. His name is Iggy, and he's like my dad's cousin, I guess you'd say. So I guess my Theo. I don't know. I call him Primo either way. And so I hit him up, and I was like, "Hey, dude, I know you have a gym. Like, I kind of want to focus on getting stronger. Like, when can I come in or whatever?" And he was just so good about like telling me like, "Yeah, come in whenever you want. I already got a guy that can help you get stronger, this and that." And then he led me to meeting my coach Angelo. Shout out to Angelo. Yeah.
Oh, so you have a coach?
Yeah, I do have a coach, and they got me into powerlifting, and it's been a fun ride. So it's been about 2 years almost, I want to say, of just progressively just trying to get stronger, being the best me I can be. You know what I mean?
And what's your weight class?
So right now I'm at the 67.5 kilogram. So that's like 148 pounds.
Okay, because I know you've done some tournaments.
Yeah, so I did one powerlifting meet. I'm about to do another one in June. It was kind of cool. I was the only one in my weight class, so automatic winner, baby. Let's go. You know what I'm saying? I'm the California state champ. Yeah, 2021 by default. So it's nothing to be that proud of. But yeah, that was a pretty.
No, it's still, I mean, it's something to be proud of because you were confident enough to go into it.
You know what's funny is so when I went to that competition last March, it was March of last year, 2021. Yeah, so I had only been like seriously so. When I first started with Angela, he was just kind of getting me into shape. Yeah. So it wasn't even really powerlifting. It was just kind of like, let's show you how to lift first.
Yeah, a proper posture.
Yeah. Just a bunch of little things. And then about January, he's like, you want to actually try pursuing? I was like, yeah. And then I was like, why not go for the competition? So we like trained for like 2 or 3 months or something. And then I went on stage and did it. And it was kind of crazy because like usually you don't do that. You know, usually you prep like months, like 6 months or whatever.
Yeah.
Depending, or sometimes people even take a year or two off just to really build up where they want to be. Mm-hmm. And it was kind of crazy. But once I did it and I kind of felt the adrenaline of it all and just kind of how cool it is and all that, I was like, yeah, I kind of want to keep doing this powerlifting thing. Like, this is pretty sick. And so I stuck with it and I've been doing it ever since. And like, it's kind of funny, man. Like, I know like people that go to the gym or whatever, you're like, oh, you're meathead, you're, you know, whatever. It's not really like that, surprisingly. No, yeah. The gym culture is probably the healthiest subculture I've ever met out of any, like, sub-niche group that I'm part of.
Oh, nice.
You know what I'm saying? Like, they're the most encouraging. They're the ones that want to see you do your best. I mean, just like anything else, yeah, there's going to be people that are whatever, like haters. Or
yeah, of course. You know, elitist.
Yeah, but, like, it seems less, at least at the gym that I go to.
I see.
Everybody's, like, super, like, uplifting. So, shout out to Universal Training Center. You guys are awesome, all my homies out there. They're just always so nice, man. It doesn't matter if you're like, you know, deadlifting 100 pounds or you're deadlifting 700 pounds. Mm-hmm. Like, they're there cheering for you because they want to see you be the best you can be.
That's awesome.
And that has really changed my mentality in general. Like, I think the weightlifting thing has really gotten me far mentally, more than even just physically, if that makes sense.
I know before you weightlifting, you switched up your diet.
Yeah, so it's kind of funny. I was like trying to do that whole keto thing for a little bit, which was fine. Like, I lost some weight because I got kind of like low-key chubby. Nobody told me about that. I was like, dude, I was 170 pounds and it wasn't a healthy 170 pounds. You know what I'm saying? I was like, ugh. Looking back, I was like, oh yeah, I look good. I was like, maybe not so good. So I did the whole keto thing and I did lose like, I got down to like 138, dude. I lost a lot of weight doing that. So that was just like high protein, high fat, low carb.
Yeah.
But then more recently, I just kind of started eating more balanced diet because you just it gets old, dude. It's like a diet. It's not like realistic to sustain something like that.
Exactly, because your body has to get used to intaking everything.
Yeah.
Not just, you know, one side of the food pyramid.
Exactly.
You know, that's why they call it food pyramid. It's everything on there you need.
Yeah.
So if you cut one thing out and you're losing weight, but is it healthy?
Yeah, exactly. And so like I got thinner for sure, but I definitely wasn't as like, I don't know, I didn't look as strong. Yeah. I was just kind of skinny, still skinny fat, I guess you could say, but I just weighed a lot less. And then that weight started to come back when I would kind of cheat a little because you get tired of the diet, so you start eating other stuff.
And they think, and people think, you know, because you're doing this diet that when you lose weight, losing weight is healthy. No, you know, like not always, you know, skinny is healthy.
Yeah.
So you end up having some problems. And like you said, you cheat one day, you gain it faster.
Dude,
know?
Man, Chick-fil-A and In-N-Out, that was my weakness, you know. But yeah, so then after that, as I started weightlifting more and just realizing like my body needs carbs, it needs that energy, so I started implementing more stuff more recently actually than anything. I was always kind of scared of carbs. I'm like, I don't want to blow up and get fat, but no, like if anything, I feel like I look the best that I have ever looked in my life. Not that I'm like huge or ripped or anything, but like I feel a lot more confident in my body now than I did even 5 months ago.
Yeah,
you know?
and it's like you said, it's not about being huge or ripped. It's about being happy with yourself mentally, you know, because this actually goes into the question of the day later. So I'll just stop for right now.
Okay.
Now, what would be your advice on like people that are looking into weightlifting competitions? Well, I don't have too much advice. I've only done one true meet, and I'm prepping for this next one. But I think if you want it, go get it, man. Like if you really feel like you want to compete and you want to try, you know, besting yourself, I think that's what it's about. It's not really because
yeah, you're going to compete against other people in your weight class or whatever, but in reality, you're just trying to beat yourself in your previous meet, I guess you could say. So, you know, I want to beat my 325 deadlift or my, 192 bench or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
that's the goal.
That's a good way to look at it, where you go into these meets not trying to beat the other person, but beat what you did before.
Yeah.
You know?
Now, another thing, too, it's like you have to work, dude. That's like the main thing. Like, it's funny because I think a lot of times people go in and they think like, oh, I'm just going to do it and I'm going to, bro work. No, it's like, no, dude, you have to make sure you're doing your exercises right, have the right form, have the right kind of training plan, because if you just go in it being a bro, you're not going to get a lot of good. I mean, you might get some results, but you're not going to like optimize what you could possibly do. You know, you want to actually like be informed and like ask questions. I think people are either too prideful or they're too shy to ask questions. And I think that's something that I had to learn too, because you go in there, you see these dudes like deadlifting 550 pounds, benching like 300 pounds. You're like, oh my God, I'm so nervous. Like, you compare yourself, but you have to go into it like not comparing yourself to anybody. Yeah. You go into it and you say, you know what, I'm new at this. I'm a new student. I'm going to learn from all these guys.
Yeah, everybody's a teacher when you first start.
Exactly. So you go and you just ask questions, pick at the brains. And if you have a great coach, like how I do, like, yeah, they're going to definitely lead you the right path, you know? But again, it's just about putting in the work and actually like going for it. Like, go all in if you're going to do it is my advice. Like, don't kind of half-ass it.
I see. Because going into something like that, in anything athletic, it takes over your life.
Oh, yeah.
Like, if you really want to get into it, you have to change the way you eat, the way you sleep.
Oh, yeah.
You got to get those hours of sleep, because, that's recovery for your body right there. So.
Yeah, I think I was going to say something along those lines of like, yeah, commitment. Like when I first started, so going back to this, I was like, again, with another ex, go figure. So I was going there, but like I didn't feel like truly there, if that makes sense. Like we were going, like with that relationship, I felt like I was trying to like get us to go, you know what I mean? Yeah. And so like for me, I would feel kind of rushed the whole time we were there, because I was like worried about like how she felt or whatever. And like I said, no bad blood or anything. But I was just like, I kind of want to like, you know what I mean? Like, I really want to do this. Yeah. And eventually after we had, we split up, I just committed to it. Yeah. So before I was like trying to rush out an hour, now I can be there 3 hours and it doesn't even feel like 3 hours. I'm like, dude, what the heck? Where did the time go? Because I'm having a good time. I'm focusing, like I'm actually training the right way. And so I think on top of that, like putting in the time and being careful about what I do and learning, like I'm actually improving a lot more now than I did when I was first starting out.
Okay, that's good. Yeah. So for your future goals, is this the weight class you want to keep competing in?
Oh, dude, like funny that you asked that, because that's literally a question I've been asking myself. Like, okay, what do I really want out of this whole gym thing? Because shout out to the bodybuilders in there, dude. Like, they kind of got me messing around. You know what I'm saying? So I got a homie, shout out to Dom and Cedric. Like, they're these dudes that are like more into the aesthetic, part of working out, where like more of a bodybuilder type stuff. Yeah. And it's like kind of fun doing the
showmanship.
Poses. Yeah, kind of doing the poses is kind of fun. Not gonna lie. But I don't know if I want to like stay kind of on the thinner side and just try to be like the super strong skinny guy, I guess you could say, or if I just want to get jacked and just mog people, dude. Like, like, yo, what's up, bro? I'm over here. So I don't know. It's kind of like this weird debate. I think I'm gonna go all in on just trying to get big. I still want to power lift, but I think I'm gonna also like just try to be a little bit aesthetic too. I don't know. I think it's something along the lines of like power building or something like that, where you're still like getting strength, but you're also kind of getting a physique.
Yeah, you're like sculpting your body.
Yeah, so I kind of want to do something along those lines and just see how big I can get without without like looking disturbing for my my size, I guess. Yeah, I'm not a very tall guy. I'm only 5'5", so I don't want to look like an Albondi guy. You know what I mean? Like all round or something. I don't know.
A thumb.
So, yeah, like the thumbs from Spy Kids. Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, it'd be cool to be just like super jacked or whatever, but I want to look size appropriate too. Yeah. So I don't know. I guess you're your biggest critic. You know what I'm saying? Like the body dysmorphia thing is 100% real, dude. You never feel big enough. You're like there. People will tell you like, yeah, dude, you look good. You look jacked. And I'm just like, that's not jacked enough. You know what I'm saying? I'm always like criticizing myself in a productive way, not like I'm crappy or whatever.
That's also what comes with being an athlete. You're never satisfied with what you have now. You want to strive for better, for number one. You may never achieve it, but you're always striving to be better than you were yesterday.
Yeah, and that's been like a huge part of my life, like just in everything, whether it's like weightlifting or just like self-improvement, because for a long time I feel like I held myself back from a lot of things, you know, just in general, kind of always like saying, I don't know if I could do that. Like, I don't know, like maybe, I guess, and just kind of denying myself that opportunity. And lately I've just kind of been on this whole rut. Like, I got to live every day like it's my last day, man. You know, I want to live it up. So I'm trying new things, talking to new people, putting myself out there, because you never know, man. And maybe you'll be good at it. You know, maybe you'll be great. You know, whether or not I become a true elite powerlifter or whatever, like that's cool.
At least if I don't,
yeah, I tried. Same thing with skateboarding. It's like, yeah, I may or may not ever land a laser flip, but at least I tried. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like, that's all it is, man. It's just you never know unless you try, and that's what I've been learning a lot in general.
Okay, that's good. Now, the next time you come on the show, what kind of movie would you movie or show did you want to talk about?
Oh, dude. Okay, so I'm like split between two different ones. Okay, right. So they're like two different media. So I was either thinking Urusei Yatsura, like my favorite anime of all time. Because I think that would be kind of neat. It's an old school anime from like the 80s, so it has like that super vintage nostalgic look. Super cool. Or I was thinking It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, because it's just so stupid and ignorant, and I feel like that's where a lot of my humor comes from.
What was the first one called?
Urusei Yatsura.
Is that a movie?
It's a series.
It's a series.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's up to you, because I've started. If you want, you could pick like your favorite episode of each.
Okay.
And then we could like discuss those.
Oh, dude, that's so yeah. I think that's a good idea.
Okay, so before he comes back on, we'll go ahead and announce, the episodes that you guys have to watch, and then we'll go ahead and discuss it on. It's on the podcast. So on that note, we're gonna go ahead and take a quick break. All right, welcome back from our quick break. On this segment, we're going to go ahead and have you grill me for a little bit. You have questions for me? So I'll go ahead and play your intro, and then we'll go ahead and get started.
Get your questions out. It's time to question Mark.
Cool. All right, welcome back to Bugs, Riffs, and Lips with Spider.jaek. And I'm here with my boy Mark with a C. What's up?
Thank you for having me.
Right on, man. So I guess the first question I got for you is, what is your opinion on spiders in general?
You know what? It's so funny. Growing up, I used to hate any type of bugs, right? It hasn't really changed. I don't hate them now because I work a lot with them. When I'm out in the field, I'm in their territory, right?
Yeah.
When I see them, I'm just like, okay, cool. It's cool. But when I see something in my area, I gotta remove it.
I feel you.
So it's just like it's an invasion. Like I am invading their area, so I'm very respectful.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not like I don't like them anymore. I used to be terrified of them, and then I was putting up a front when I started working there. But I was like, you know what? The more you know about things, the less you're scared of them, right?
Yep, 100%.
So it's just like going into their territory every day. I'm just like, as long as I'm respectful, I just have to, do a good job.
Yeah.
Of respecting their area.
Yeah. Would you say that like knowing me has helped you like with your arachnophobia, or do you feel like it's just something you kind of overcome? Because like that's something important for me. Like I want to make sure all my friends can overcome their arachnophobia, because spiders are awesome, and I don't want my friends afraid of something that's not really out to get them.
I mean, talking to you definitely, especially about spiders, but in general, bugs and arachnids, it's just like anything. Like the more you know, if you can identify it and know, oh, it's not a risk to you. Like as long as you're respectful of their space, you're good. So, yeah, I think definitely talking to you about spiders in general was like, oh yeah, all right, yeah, we could, instead of killing them, we can just put them out inside.
That's all I ask, man. That's all I ask. Don't kill them, man. They're gonna do more good for you.
Exactly.
They're out there killing mosquitoes and cockroaches and other things that actually will give you disease and other vermin like that. So just give them a chance. Is all I'm saying.
So yeah, definitely talking to you was a eye opener.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so next question.
Yeah.
So who are your like most overrated and underrated artists? Like in terms of music?
Oh, you know what? See, that's the thing. I listen to a lot of music.
Sure.
I don't listen to the artist. I don't
know okay, so you like songs. Okay.
Yeah, I like music. I don't go for the artists themselves. So I can't really tell you. I mean, I know a lot of artists.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I just can't be like, oh, he's overrated, he's underrated.
Yeah,
I can tell you right now, I'm on a Chance the Rapper kind of binge, and I've been on that binge for a little bit, probably like a year now, just because, you know, it's kind of a mixture of rap and uplifting gospel kind of thing, you know, that what Kanye was doing for a little bit
before he went haywire.
Yeah, exactly. But it's kind of like I there was also a binge where I was like into uplifting music, where it's just like anything positive, you know, like I know this wasn't really positive, but it's just like the Black Eyed Peas, Where's the Love? You know, that one was a, you know, good song to open your eyes, basically. In a sense, get you woke about the situation at the time. You know?
Sure.
So yeah, I can't say who's sorry, what were the terms?
I guess underrated, overrated.
Yeah, underrated or overrated. So
I guess maybe I'll kind of like skew it a little bit because I think it's funny because when we were first kind of working together, we were talking about music, and I remember bringing up No Effects, for example, and you knew of them, which like threw me off because I was just like, oh, this guy, you know, he knows punk music. Like, no offense, I guess it makes me look bad because I was like judging you, you know, this guy probably listens to radio music, you know, whatever, which is cool too.
And that was true.
Yeah.
I did have a stint of No Effects when I was in when I lived in Louisiana because I had a bunch of friends that were into punk.
Yep.
And the favorites was No Effects.
Yeah, they're great.
And it was always like humor music, and I was never really, you know, before that I wasn't really listening to people that made humor in their music, you know, where in that punk sense. So it was nice to listen to them, and I kind of got really into them. I like illegally downloaded all the, you know,
shout out to LimeWire, baby. Back in the day.
So, you know, I had like all their albums. So it was a good time. And I think being or listening to that type of music, it was like, I don't know, I felt like it was me at the time.
Sure. So
it was who I was. So I was a punk.
So do you not really listen to a lot of punk anymore, or?
No, I still do. I actually have a mixed genre.
Sure.
So I'm a little into everything besides, like, you know, I'm not really into gospel music.
Okay.
Even though I say Chance the Rapper.
Yeah.
But, you know, his has like a kind of flair to it. And I'm not really into country.
What?
I like country.
Yeah.
I don't go out seeking it.
I feel you. Like, I feel like it's an acquired taste.
Yeah.
Either you like it or you hate it. It seems like there's not really a lot of people.
I'm in between.
You might be built different, but like in general, it feels like people either just really hate country. Like, I hate that.
The exception doesn't make the rule.
Yeah, so I'm just like, all right, you know. Funny enough, like I do fancy me some country. But
I've seen your getup before.
When I put on the hat and the boots, I'm like, vamos a bailar. You know what I'm saying? No, but another thing too, I wanted to ask you. So, what's like your opinion on like extreme metal, like death metal, grindcore, and things like? I don't know how well versed you are in that.
I'm not. Besides the stuff that you've had me listen to before, but you know, a lot of it is it's basically music is an expression of who you are.
Sure.
And basically, that type of music, it's people think it's dark, right? But I think it's just a way for people that want to express themselves that way to express themselves, you know, because it's such an interesting thing to listen to. And I remember I forgot to bring it up, but I know you were doing you were in a band.
Yeah, kind of little project.
Are you still in that?
Dude, it's been like on hiatus for a while now.
Okay.
We kind of a couple of the dudes moved out. I guess you could say they moved to LA. So we just kind of been like in this weird hiatus. We got like 2 little demos or whatever, but it was never anything like solidified.
I see. And I know you were talking about, you know, you were their vocals.
Yeah.
You were practicing your voice and the strain you had to put your voice through, the vocal exercises. It's an interesting thing to look at. And like I said, it's a different way of expressing yourself in music. So I think it's cool. I mean, people hear yelling, you know, but you know,
you hear screaming. I hear the meaning.
Exactly. There you go. So people hear screaming. You hear the meaning.
Yeah.
It's you just gotta make sure when you go into something new like that you actually understand where it's coming from.
Yeah, for sure. And it's kind of funny because I feel like a lot of death metal is just tongue in cheek. Like, yeah, they're gonna be talking about like decapitating people or
because
like,
it's called death metal.
Yeah, well, yeah, you know what I mean. But if you really think about it, how is it different than watching a horror movie? Where
Exactly.
it's funny because I see people that love horror movies, but they don't listen to like death metal or anything. But like I'm kind of the opposite. I actually hate gore, but I love I actually love death metal and stuff. So it's just funny to me. It's just a different way to portray those kinds of themes because it's not everything is always like, oh yeah, love. And don't get me wrong, I love happy music.
Yeah,
but it's not that's just not how the world works.
Yeah, and there's good, there's bad, and you got to take all of it.
Yeah.
So
cool. I think another question I have for you. Let's do this a more anime related one.
Okay.
So, all right.
Yeah.
So, what anime character would you say you identify the most with? Like any anime. Like if you could choose one character, and you're like, oh, dude, that's so me in anime form.
You know what? I want to say, just because so there's a volleyball anime.
Oh yeah, I've heard of that one. I think one of my friends was into it when she was trying to talk to this one dude who was into it randomly. I'm like, why are you watching this?
And there's a player on there that I identify most because I think his strengths are some of my strengths. So it's stuff that I kind of also want to implement into who I am. And it's basically if you guys don't know, it's called Haikyuu, and the character name is Mia.
Fake fan.
No, it's because he's a twin.
Yeah, okay.
So there's Osamu and then Atsumu. Atsumu is the one that I feel I identify, as an anime character with. He's a fake blonde. I was a fake blonde for a little bit. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah, I remember that. Dude, I want to be a fake blonde too. You know what I'm saying? That's cool.
He's a setter. I'm a setter. He does things. He has two. I don't know if you've played volleyball before, but
never been in my life.
Yeah,
dude.
so he has two serves. I have two serves. I'm just like I kind of identify with his play style, and I feel like him as a anime character speaks to who I am as a person,
Yeah,
so.
For sure. I was going to say, I think for me, one of my favorite anime, I don't know if I would say I'm like him a lot, but I think Mike Guy from Naruto.
Oh,
dude, man. I love Mike Guy.
He's so positive.
Yeah, man.
And he's just like, do everything like, it's the last.
Dude, exactly. Like he just kind of, it's funny because I identify when, later, spoilers for Naruto. Later on, you kind of see more of his backstory, and he was just kind of a loser. Like he couldn't do it. He was like Lee, where he had no power or anything. He just had his fist. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And so seeing him just be like kind of negative all his life at first, and just kind of overcoming that, and then like seeing his dad too, he's just like, why does my dad tell me these things like that I can achieve, and he's not even looking like he's achieving. Then his dad ended up being all crazy good and strong, and then he's like, you know what, I can do it too, and like kind of changing that mindset. I feel like that's so relatable because at the end of the day, for me, when I was younger, I felt like I put limits on myself. Like I would always put limits on myself. Like, like I can't do this, or I can't do this, or maybe I shouldn't do this. Like I said, like earlier, I was just denying myself opportunity. And then now changing it into a more positive, like, you know what, we can do it. You can do whatever you want as long as you put in hard work and like you actually try. I think that's why I love my guy so much, because he's a testament to that. That dude's like OP, know?
Exactly.
So it's
Especially, cool. I don't know if you watch the ending.
Yeah.
Oh,
dude, crazy.
Top 3, man.
Oh yeah,
of course. So was that all you got for me?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's about it right now.
Well, good questions. Thank you for bringing those with you.
Yeah, for sure.
So now on the next segment, we'll go ahead and go to the question of the day, and I know I mentioned it to you earlier. So this one actually comes from my brother. He was actually on the first episode. So he's you could reach him at marcel.papa.frilles or at m_frilles, and that's m_FRILLES. And then the previous one was MARCEL_PAPA_FRILLES. And his question of the day is, does physical health impact mental better than mental health impacts physical?
Oh man, that's a really great question, because I see both sides to that coin. But I guess I can just speak off of my experience in general. Like I've kind of mentioned a little bit, I've always been like my biggest critic, and I've always been really hard on myself. It's just the kind of person I am, because being the oldest of 3 siblings, you know, and then kind of growing up where, you know, alcoholism was in my family for a little bit and just like trying to be that overachiever type, there was a lot of like pressure I put on myself unnecessarily. And so I've always had kind of like this thing, like I'm afraid to fail. Like, oh, you know, why try, you know, just trying to overcome these obstacles that I never thought were possible. And a lot of that didn't change. Like I tried a bunch of stuff, even with skating, like I love skateboarding, but I still don't feel like skateboarding has given me like that mental toughness that weightlifting has. I think once I started, you know, humbling myself to the weight room and just all these different lifts and failing a couple times, like at my meet, I failed one of the bench attempts and it broke my heart. I was angry, but then I realized like, no, like there's nobody to be angry at. It's just a part of life. You fail, you get back up. Exactly. Now that weight that I failed at that meet, it's like I rep it, like I can rep it pretty okay, you know?
Oh, nice.
So it's like, it's all a building block. So I think that physical health, you know, working out and seeing my body change, seeing my strength change, meeting a lot of people in that gym has really changed my outlook on life in general. Like I think that physical health can really bring you out of a mental slump because you're releasing stress too, dude. Like you're having a good time and you're releasing all that energy. Like even recently, like when I, you know, broke up with that girl back, you know, a few months ago, like it was hard, dude, you know, I was in a mental rut, but the gym was always there. The gym will never break your heart, baby. You know? So I was there and just like pushing through on days where it's like, you know, I remember the day after that we had broken up, I went in there, I had deadlifts. I would do my deadlift, I go outside and I'd cry. And then I come back in, all right, let's do this next one, you know, and then I go outside cry. Like it was such a good release, you know, and I carried that for a long time, you know, just like that heartbreak. But like I was able to better myself, you know, it actually pushed me even more, like physically. So like I said, I think the physical aspect really does, like it's something like instinctual or something like primal. You know, it just releases these endorphins when you're just lifting weight and you see the weight go, dude. Like when I've struggled with like some pretty heavy deadlifts, you know, and I'm there and I get the shakes, man. I'm going up and I'm like all jittering, you know, and when you get it up, that feeling of accomplishment it's incredible. You know, you feel like, wow, like I've achieved something, and it's tangible. It's like you can actually record things. You know what I'm saying? See, like this is the next step. So, in my opinion, I think physical health really does reflect your mental health.
I see.
Makes sense. Yeah,
that makes sense, and I agree with you. Like I spoke about this in a previous podcast where I was having a lot of anxiety before, you know, and for no reason. And the way it went away was keeping up with my physical health, you know, because instinctually, I think you work on your mental health every day, right? And I do think that mental health can help your physical health, but I think overall, your physical health makes your mental health better, and then, you know, vice versa. So it's just like, it does start with physical, I feel.
Yeah.
Or go ahead. If you keep up with your physical health, your mental health will get better and then swing back the other way.
Yeah. You know? And I think too, just in general, any physical thing, it doesn't have to be weightlifting. Just for me, that's what clicked. Like I said, if skateboarding is your thing, like skate, man. If biking is your thing, bike. If you know, you like playing football, basketball, whatever, like being active really does soothe you. You just got to find the right thing for you.
Exactly. All right, so that was a excellent question of the day. I picked it out especially for you because I know you, I know you're into weightlifting. And whatnot,
yeah.
So.
I may not look like it, but I'm getting there.
Well, he does look like it on his Instagram, so go ahead and check him out on Instagram. Again, that's Spider.jaek.
Correct.
Okay. Now let's go ahead and go into any of the TikTok challenges that you would have me do. So if you guys aren't on TikTok, go ahead and follow me on TikTok. I still have a couple of these challenges I still have to do because we do have a thing going on tomorrow that I could knock one of these challenges out, and that will get that going as soon as possible. So what's the challenge you got?
Okay, so to be completely honest, I do not like TikTok. I'm not a TikToker. So I have no idea. So I'm kind of winging it. But
so you're just giving me a challenge.
Oh yeah, let's go for it. Well, like it's funny because Instagram people, like, you know me, I'm a big memer, dude.
Yes.
Yeah, my memes are pretty degenerate. But no, like what's funny is like you'll see TikToks on Instagram. It's just like, dude, whatever. But I don't know if it's like a legit challenge or if it's just a stupid meme. But one of them was like the try not to headbang challenge. It's like some dude in like a Spider-Man like suit,
yeah.
and then like they play a snippet of, I don't know what song it was. I can't think of it top of my head, but he just like headbangs in like a second. So I think that'd be kind of a cool one. Maybe I'll send you a song or two, and you just have to resist like your neck.
Headbang.
You know? Yeah, dude.
You can't bob your head
you
at
can't,
all.
nothing. Dude. You gotta stay still. That's the best I got. Like I said, I don't know any of these trendy TikToks or anything like that. You know?
I got you. So I'll go ahead and do that. Try not to headbang. Oh man, I remember. It would hurt my neck.
Oh,
man.
dude, trust me. I've come back from shows, just my neck all stiff. I'm like, dude, I can't because I'm just being ignorant, you know, like in the pit or just like, I get all into it, dude. Like tonight, I'm sure I'm going to wake up tomorrow like all stiff like a zombie, dude. Like, oh, I can't even freaking move.
Well, luckily, you know, we did the show today. So tomorrow you don't have to rush out here. Hey, welcome to the show.
I'm going to pull up like that grandma from SpongeBob. What are they selling? You know, all stiff, yeah.
All right. So I'll go ahead and get that challenge. Unfortunately, there's 3 challenges before yours that
That's
I
all
still
good.
have to do, but look out for that one. So on that note, we'll go ahead and take a quick break. All right, welcome back. So as we're closing out the show, as I always do, I want to go ahead and start second to last, go with the inspirational quote of the day. So this one actually comes from one of the skateboarding legends, Tony Hawk. Do you like Tony Hawk?
Yeah, dude, of course. Who doesn't?
So his quote is, you might not make it to the top, but if you are doing what you love, there's much more happiness there than being rich or famous.
Easy for him to say. No, I'm just easy for him to say.
Easy for a rich and famous person to say. But no, I feel that, you know, it's just like you can do something and be content doing it and be the happiest you'll ever be than if you ever did it for money or fame. Because then if you do it for money or fame, then it's your job. And then it turns something that you love into something you have to do instead of something you want to do.
And I think that might be true. You know, like with my spider stuff, I think I would be happy, you know, being a taxonomist or whatever. Mm-hmm. But it's kind of nice. Like I can kind of control, or if I want to breed them, you know, it's out of love, you know, which eventually I probably will end up doing is start breeding them and selling them or whatever. But I think just the passion, like I feel like the less worries you have, or like the less things you have to worry about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just better in general.
I feel that. So, do you have any shout outs you want to give?
Yeah, I want to say shout out to my haters. No, I'm just I thrive now. I'm just playing. No, just shout out to my family. Like, you know, my mom, just always a sweetheart and always been encouraging me since day one. You know, my dad, shout out to him, all the hard work he does and the amount that he's changed. You know, real quick side note on my dad, you know, when I was growing up, like I said, alcoholism was a thing that we dealt with. But, you know, it's been about 14 years now since he's been sober, and it's been awesome. You know what I mean? He's really put in effort to change, and I appreciate that about him. Also, shout out to my siblings. I feel like we've gotten a lot closer. Love you guys. And then just all my friends, you know. Shout out to all y'all.
All right. Well, if you or somebody you know would enjoy telling their story or just chatting to me, you know, with me about anything of their choice, go ahead and reach out to me with your info or their info by email at the?podcast@gmail.com or through DM on Instagram at ggmarklee. If you send me their info, I'll go ahead and reach out to them. And if they're not local, we'll go ahead and do the show over the internet. Live shows will be on Twitch and YouTube, and they're both at ggmarklee at varying times. Today was a special time on Saturday. Usually on
Friday, dude. Come on, you get all mixed up.
But usually they will be on Saturdays due to guest accommodation. So go ahead and follow my socials to be kept up to date. If you're on Twitch, go ahead and subscribe on YouTube. And if you're on YouTube, go ahead and follow me on Twitch. So for our audio only listeners, shows will be posted the following Sunday at noon on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, or wherever you get your podcasts. Just search the Question Mark Podcast. And remember, that's Mark with a C. So thank you guys for watching or listening. I appreciate you all. And especially in these times, I'm wishing everybody peace, love, and sanity.
Yeah.